even turn and look my way.
I just want to get answers and find out exactly what happened all these years.
Because you're so mean and evil, you put the devil out of work.
Police believe the remains of Joshua's daughters were found buried in the backyard at a home just north of the city.
Conditions which, unfortunately, these two beautiful little girls were subjected to prior to their death is some of the worst, I think, that I have ever seen by far.
Sisters Nicole and Jasmine Snyder were not loved or wanted by their mother and her girlfriend. So when the attempt to try to sell one of the sisters for $1,000 did not work, they decided in order to get rid of the girls, they would just starve them to death. This is the true crime story about two beautiful sisters that were never given a chance at life. As with all child cases, I tell viewer discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Holly. Welcome to the Murder She Shed, the place you can hear rarely told true crime right from my she shed. As this is a story that is rarely told, today we're going to tell the story of Nicole and Jasmine Snyder, who are two beautiful little sisters that lived too short of a life and shouldn't have been taken away by four evil monsters that knew about their abuse and torture. The investigation for the missing sisters began in September of 2021 when the Lycoming County Children and Youth Services visited the home on Livermore Road near Williamsport, Pennsylvania on alleged child neglect charges of 32-year-old Marie Snyder's 8-year-old son, who was not attending school at the time. It was learned that the boy had speech problems and still was not potty trained at 8. On this visit, Children and Youth Services noticed her two daughters, Nicole and Jasmine, were missing. Marie Snyder claimed her 11 and 8-year-old daughters were being homeschooled and living with a friend. Lycoming County Children and Youth Services were not able to find any evidence of the daughters' whereabouts and found the last school and doctor documents dating back to 2015. The last time one of the girls were seen was in January 2015 at a hospital for a sore on her leg. The girl's bio father, Joshua Snyder, told investigators he had not seen the children since 2015 when a custody order and protection from abuse order was put in place by Marie. CYS attempted over telephone and email to request that they meet with Marie's daughters to ensure they were safe and receiving proper education. Attempts were made on September 16th, 22nd, and 24th, but Marie did not get back to the caseworker. Marie was able to win full custody over her daughters in 2015. She initially shared custody with the father, Joshua Snyder, until she claimed that he had actually SA'd one of the girls, which was later found out to be a complete lie. But Joshua eventually lost full custody of Nicole and Jasmine after he failed to appear in court. The couple split in 2014, though they never divorced. It was at that time Marie and her children moved in a trailer home with 26-year-old Echo Butler, who was initially just a friend. Their relationship later became romantic. Echo Butler lived with their parents Michelle and Ronald Butler in that trailer home located near Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Inside this rundown trailer home with 4 adults present, the girls were tortured to death with not one of the adults coming forward to protect either Nicole or Jasmine. Marie's girlfriend Echo hated Nicole and Jasmine from the moment they moved into that trailer and showed favoritism to their little brother. Echo became the caretaker to the 3 children while their mother was working at a nursing home and became the instigator of the girls' abuse. A neighbor and relative to Echo Butler said he was invited over to a party once at the Butler's trailer home. And while everyone at the home was eating pizza and ice cream, Nicole and Jasmine were eating cold peas from a can, which he at the time thought was very odd. The neighbor said 2 other visits caused him concern, including the last time he saw Nicole. During that visit, Echo was giving her a bath and he heard blood-curdling screaming coming from the bathroom. He asked Ron and Michelle Butler what the hell is going on in there, but they didn't answer him. It was the culmination of those visits that the neighbor said prompted his wife to place a call to Lycoming County Children and Youth Services. The neighbor said he believed the agency did make a visit to the house, but obviously not much was done because the children remained in that household. Echo and Marie began giving both girls a cold bath because, according to Echo, Nicole and Jasmine did not deserve hot water. At the time, Jasmine, who was 3, was constantly restrained in a car seat, with her legs crossed and tied for maximum torture. And also her hands were tied so she couldn't pick at her fingers. Because what else did the little girl have to do while tied and restrained for hours in this car seat? And Jasmine was tied to a chair because Echo just didn't want to deal with them. The girls were both forced to wear diapers, and when they soiled themselves, they would not be changed for extended periods of times. In one instance, after throwing Nicole against the wall and splitting her head open, Ronald Butler, her father, helped Echo patch the wall up and cover the damage made by the abuse. Echo would hit Nicole and Jasmine with closed or open fists and tie their hands behind their backs with anything she could find. Echo choked them and forced them to stand in dark hallways for up to 12 hours per day, often with their hands tied behind their backs. Echo would hit them, bash their heads against the wall, knee or push them against walls, and rub feces and urine in their face as punishment for having accidents from those soiled diapers they had to sit in for hours because they weren't allowed up to go to the bathroom. It was absolutely not the girls' fault. The girls were also forced to eat by themselves in a dark room while the other members of the family just filled their bellies up at a table. On at least one occasion, Echo Butler choked Nicole until she stopped breathing. At some point, Echo attempted to sell Nicole to her aunt for $1,000. Echo's aunt wanted to adopt the girls because she feared they were actually being abused after she saw bruises and cuts on the girls. Echo refused to let her adopt them because her and Marie did not want the girls' biofather to know they were getting adopted out. Instead, she asked the aunt if she'd like to buy Nicole for $1,000 in secret. The aunt, of course, refused this offer. The aunt also revealed that after she expressed concern to Marie over how Echo was disciplining the girls, that Jasmine was allowed to stay with her much of 2015. During the time Jasmine was living with Echo's aunt, Nicole would starve to death. Echo and Marie both conspired to kill Nicole by intentionally starving her to death, only giving Nicole small amounts of water and one bite of cereal occasionally. At the time of her death, when Nicole was 6, she had been given no food or water for about 2 weeks prior to her death. She weighed only 10 pounds, was pale, not verbal, and her hair was falling out when she died about May 10, 2016. At that time, Nicole was no longer able to stand. Marie said the night of Nicole's death, Echo got Nicole up from her bed, put her in a hot bath, hit the girl's head on the tub, and then put her on the floor where she died. Michelle Butler admitted that she, Marie, and Echo were present and watched Nicole take her last breath. Marie said she called 911, but that Echo and Michelle Butler made her in the call. A 911 dispatcher called back, but they were told the call was an error. Michelle Butler told authorities the three discussed what they would tell others about Nicole's death, or perhaps say that, well, she's just living with somebody else. Then Echo dug a grave and put Nicole's body in a plastic tote, and Michelle put mothballs over the body inside the tote to contain the odor. They then buried her little body in a shallow grave behind their trailer inside a dingy little shed. Marie, Echo, Marie's son, and Jasmine, who they got back from Echo's aunt, moved out of the trailer after that into 1646 Catherine Street in Williamsport on September 29, 2016, just months after Nicole's death. During that time, CYS paid a visit to the Catherine Street residence to check on Jasmine, and Jasmine was playing on the floor, prompting the caseworker to leave at that point. At first, Jasmine was treated good because Marie told Echo, "I can't lose another one. I can't do it again." But by August 11, 2017, Jasmine's life, at just 4 years old, ended the same way that her sisters did. When Jasmine passed away, she weighed less than a gallon of milk. Guys, I didn't even know that was possible for a human child to weigh less than a gallon of milk. You'd think bones would weigh more than that. This child had no meat. It was pretty much her bones were exposed. She was just skin and bones. Basically, when you say skin and bones, that's what this little girl was when she passed away. Then she was buried in a shallow grave in a tote bag beside her sister in that awful shed. Their remains would lay there undiscovered until 2021 when CYS noticed the girls were missing. After authorities could not find the two girls, then Marie was arrested. She was working when she was arrested in the nursing home, November 4th. Marie refused to provide information about the whereabouts of the two girls. Finally, after Echo was arrested, the couple confessed that the girls were buried in that shed. On November 6, 2021, the FBI Evidence Response Team recovered the first set of remains behind the Butler's trailer home. The second set was discovered the next day, right beside her sister's body. After the bodies were discovered, authorities said they found letters Marie had written to Echo. In one 2015 letter, Marie stated, "I'm sorry about these effing bitches," in reference to Nicole and Jasmine. She also wrote, "If you want them gone, they are gone." The couple obtained nearly $50,000 in medical assistance and more than $21,000 in supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits after the two little girls were dead. And even if they'd been alive, they certainly weren't feeding them. The little girls did not get any of that money, any of that nutrition, any of that medical expense. These women just selfishly used it on themselves and just starved these two little girls to death. Michelle Butler pled guilty and was given credit for time served, so she did not have to spend her 12 to 24 months long sentence. Ronald Butler was given credit and avoided his 6 to 12 month sentence. Marie Snyder and Echo Butler received 2 life sentences each. Nicole was a sweet and loving big sister who loved all things purple, and Jasmine was a sweet-natured sister who loved all things pink. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a lot about the two little girls. I know that they are beautiful little girls and probably could have done and been so much in life if they had just had loving parents. Another sad case of horrible parents and CYS that did not get involved like they should have. And these little girls' lives ended in such a cruel manner. Can you imagine being starved to death, not given anything? I mean, I just get upset when I miss, I don't even know, one day. If I miss one day of food, I would be like thinking I was starving. And can you imagine 2 weeks without food and water? Before that, they were given like a bite of cereal and barely any water. These are just monsters. How can somebody do that to anybody, much less children, little bitty girls? I just can't even imagine the cruelty that is in this world sometimes. Anyway, may you rest in peace, Jasmine and Nicole. It's sad that your life was cut so short by 2 months that are now given life when you got death. See y'all later. Love y'all. Y'all have a blessed week, and I'll see you soon. I got a book I'm going to read, and I'm going to do a case on it. And it should be an interesting one, because there's not a lot of details about this case online. I just bought a book. Anyway, love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.
You won't even turn and look my way because you're so mean and evil. You put